David.
Ethan. How's it going, buddy?
It's good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
It's podcast time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My name is Ethan.
And I'm David, as you might have heard.
And we are those nerds you know.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk to you about our favorite anime convention.
Yeah, the best one.
It is the best one, and it is called San Japan. It takes place in San Antonio, Texas, every year. Right now, they're doing it all every year during
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, they've got it booked for like the next 3 or 4 years, basically, for that weekend.
Yeah.
Which is super great.
It is. It's a good weekend to have stuff. It's the same weekend as Dragon Con, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I never will go see Dragon Con.
Because
honestly, I don't really care.
Nope.
San Japan's so good.
Yeah, San Japan's great. It's fantastic. So, for anyone who's unfamiliar with what a convention is, there are conventions for plenty of different things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's plenty of different conventions. One of the things I think is interesting when I try to explain conventions we go to normies, as I like to call them, people tend to ask like, all they've heard about is San Diego Comic-Con. And so when I say I'm going to a convention, they're like, oh, is it like a Comic-Con? And I'm like,
or they just
like
say
a Comic-Con.
Or
they'll call it Comic-Con.
Oh, you're going to Comic-Con? They're like, yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to San Diego. Don't worry about it.
The only Comic-Con.
The Comic-Con. Yep. You got it. Crushed it. Ask me how it is. I'll tell you. Yeah. No, it's a gathering place for nerds.
Yeah.
It is a
like-minded individuals.
A mecca of nerddom. And there are conventions for comics, like Comic-Con. There are conventions for sci-fi. Sci-fi conventions are pretty normal,
They've been around for a long
common.
time.
That's the word I was looking for.
They've been around there've been sci-fi conventions for as long as Star Trek's been a thing. You know what I mean? Like, sci-fi's been around forever.
Truth. And there's gaming conventions.
Yeah.
Video games, things like that.
Board games.
Board games as well, yeah.
As well as video games, yeah. Gen Con's a big board game convention.
Gen Con, and then PAX and things of that nature.
Yep.
Then there's also anime conventions now. And honestly, a lot of them, though, have started showing... or a lot of the conventions have sort of kind of melded their themes together, so a lot of them are...
They try to be pretty open to all audiences or whatever, try to have something to appeal to anyone.
There are plenty that may have started with just one of those fandoms in mind, gaming or sci-fi or comics, but they usually, at this point, anybody who's any kind of nerd can find something that they enjoy at a place, even though if you're not the biggest comic book fan, you might still enjoy going and having a good time if you like games or if you like anime or different things of that nature. And then there's, of course, plenty of conventions that are just...
there's horror conventions too.
There are horror conventions. Yep.
Yeah.
Horror convention.
I'm not a big fan of horror stuff, so I don't go to them, but I know Mike and Joel tend to do that stuff.
Spooky stuff.
Spooky. Too spoopy for me. No, thank you. But no, there's stuff for all kinds of stuff. Brony cons, furry cons.
That is accurate. Those things exist as well.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, most conventions nowadays will tend to have a little bit of something for everybody. There's events for furries, there's events for anime fans, there's events for gaming fans, things like that. Side things. Yeah,
the way it runs today is usually there's a main theme, and then people will tack on other stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So San Japan is an anime convention.
Yep.
It is primarily for anime. Their guests are people who work in the anime industry, voice actors, cosplay guests, people that are big into cosplay or that are recognized in the cosplay community. They have a big cosplay contest.
It's huge.
They usually bring Japanese musical guests.
Yep.
Often people that have done anime openings. This year was All Off.
All Off. That was a good
very
concert.
Good. Yeah, good group. And the year before that was Rookies is Punked.
Rookies is Punked.
So
I love that so much. They were good. They were really good.
Great band. That was probably my favorite thus far.
They were hype. They were very hype.
They were super good. But yeah, San Japan is essentially the largest anime convention in South Texas. Because they can't claim the largest because
A-Kon in Texas
is enormous.
Where is A-Kon again?
Dallas.
Dallas. That's what I thought. Yeah.
A-Kon is in Dallas. It's the longest running and the largest anime convention in Texas.
That's a big one. That's a big con.
It's pretty enormous. Yeah. But anyway, San Japan takes place in San Antonio, Texas. in the something convention center.
The Henry B. Gonzalez Convention
There
Center.
you go. I guess. Is that right?
I'm 99.9% positive that's correct.
I want to have a...
You don't want to mislead our audience. I feel that.
Yeah, Henry B. Gonzalez. Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. I get that one confused with the one in Houston where Anime Matsuri is.
Yeah. I got the one that Anime Matsuri is at confused with the one that Ikicon's at. Because the convention centers look very similar to me. Like, the way they're designed looks very similar to me.
Ikikon, I don't know, maybe. Ikikon was in a hotel. Matsuri's in this huge convention center.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Matsuri in Houston. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yep. I mean, no, it reminds me of something. Then I don't remember. I maybe it's because I only think I've been to the one Matsuri, right?
Yeah, we've both only been to one as attendees. George R. Brown Convention Center. That's the one. Yeah. No, I get that one. That one looks to me similar to the convention center in San Diego. It reminds me of the San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It's enormous and it's very long.
Mm-hmm.
And the interior is just huge.
Yeah.
Yep. Anywhoozles, yeah. Henry B. Gonzalez.
We go to Texas conventions. We tend to go to Texas conventions.
Well, when you live in Louisiana,
yeah,
you have to go elsewhere.
Slim pickings. Fun. Yeah, we got some slim pickings down here.
Nope, that is accurate. MechaCon is cool.
MechaCon is really good when it's done right. I hear this year was meh, but I don't know.
Don't know. Didn't go. Don't care.
We've gone to really teeny conventions, Louisiana May and Sci-Fi-Con and things like that. Where's what do we do? CoastCon at?
CoastCon is in Biloxi or Gulfport, either one.
Yeah,
one of the convention center is like
right on
between the two of them.
Yeah,
so it counts as either. I guess I don't know.
That one's a fine convention, I think, it's pretty reasonably sized to me.
It's all right
compared to Louisiana conventions, but yeah.
San Japan, right? And Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center in San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio is the home of the Riverwalk. The convention center and hotel sit at the end of, or one of the ends of the Riverwalk. Mm-hmm. And from there you can go out on the Riverwalk and out on the downtown San Antonio.
Hook right into the mall.
It is my favorite location, I think, for a convention that I've ever been to. Easily. Yeah. Just because it's so fun to just be out where it is.
Yeah.
I don't have to be in the convention center to have a good time or in the hotel. I can go out and enjoy myself.
There's plenty of things to do and see outside of the convention that is just fine. Yeah.
Plenty of choices for food.
Yep. Tons of restaurants along the Riverwalk and places to stop.
Plenty of hotels. It's gotten so big now. It's got 3 hotels for it. 3 official hotels. There's the hotel, the Hyatt, that's attached to the convention center, and then 2 Marriott's across the street.
We tend to use the furthest.
We use the one that's furthest from the con.
From the con.
Which isn't, like, it's still walking distance to it.
Yeah. They're all really close together.
Especially via the Riverwalk, but, like, I find that one to be the best. Because...
being closer to the convention is a little rough.
Yeah, with a full Hyatt, the elevators in that hotel get nuts because there's just too many people.
Yep.
And no.
It's a really stressful convention that size, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What I also love, though, is that because of the size of the Hyatt and the size of the other 2 Marriotts, there's always some other, like, normal person convention thing going on.
Yes.
In probably each one of those at the same time. And they probably had no idea that they were going to be blindsided by a literal mob of nerds.
Yep.
Because, like, this convention easily outsizes any of the other ones that are going on in those cons. And so it's just like...
Yeah, and it's not only that, but like you said, it happens, So we do the convention at the convention center, and, that's where the main stuff is, but then there are a few events at the Hyatt hotel itself,
right?
Like there's a few
in the ballrooms of the Hyatt hotel,
or for some of the concerts and things like that. And so they have that, but then like you said, they have the other 2 hotels that tend to have their own meeting rooms and places and stuff like that where they run their own little events. Yeah. Like our hotel was doing some sort of
in the Air Force National Convention. Force. No, it wasn't. It was Air Force
Auxiliary.
That's
Air Force National Auxiliary Convention.
National Auxiliary Convention. Yeah. And so there was a bunch of besuited, well-dressed, uniformed men and women in the U.S. military trying to conduct, I guess, some type of formal or educational convention.
I'm not certain. I'm not certain what exactly they do.
Surrounded by
nerds.
Crazy
everywhere.
Nerds. Yes.
Just everywhere, all over the place. Yeah, no.
What a juxtaposition. It's so...
It was very neat. It's not the worst. It was not the weirdest one we've had, though.
Oh, gosh.
With,
CyberCon had a wedding.
Yeah, had a wedding...
The same time as the cosplay contest.
Yeah.
So the cosplay contest got asked to quiet down because they were literally a wall apart.
Yeah, we were just in two different rooms.
Absolutely absurd. I don't understand how anyone wasn't told.
It was super overbooked, but also that was also while we were on the second floor of that convention center while the first floor was being used for a gun show.
Yeah.
So
that's fantastic. That was
that convention center overreached.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
All of the things happening at once.
That was great.
Yeah. But no, Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center is really neat. They recently did some renovations to make them bigger and stuff like that. And so I know the convention center is big enough that they could have been doing other things on the opposite side, which is what they tend to be doing. Is convention centers that big will tend to have multiple events going on simultaneously. Yeah. That's how it was a little bit with the convention center we go to for. Is it Louisiana Comic Con? No. What's one of the ones we worked recently where they had the boat show?
Oh, that's CoastCon.
That's a CoastCon? Okay, yeah.
That convention center is enormous.
Yeah, that convention
center is a big stadium that I've never even seen the inside of. Then there's two other kind of convention parts and a third. And those three are all sort of attached by the same hallway.
I remember the last time we went to it.
We walk in and there's a knitting convention.
Yeah, it was like an embroidery convention.
Everybody's grandma's there. And you just take a right and then it's just all the nerds and us and gaming and they'll have big concerts and WWE type things at that That's true,
center. So there's usually some kind of thing going on.
Had a Disney on Ice one year.
Yeah, Disney on Ice. Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah. They have a lot of pulls.
Parking was terrible.
Yeah. It was awful.
Parking was fine for us. It was actually really funny because most people driving in for those events have to pay to park, but we just pull in and be like, "Hey, we're with CoastCon," and show my badge. And
we
take it to the back. You can park wherever you want.
We worked the artist alley for those conventions, so that was really neat.
Yeah, that's always a good time. But San Japan we go to for funsies. I work artist alleys at a lot of cons, and this is the only convention. San Japan is the only convention I go to, and I don't go as an artist. I just go to have a good time, spend time with my friends, my buds, spend a crap ton of money on nerd stuff.
Yeah, and buy some loot.
Yeah, and go to different panels and things. So at conventions, there's typically a dealer's room, a large dealer's room where different dealers sell different
vendors
stuff.
and companies will come and sell.
It's either hard to come by in person typically, so you can find most of the stuff probably on the internet, but in person they're harder to come by. And that's a cool experience to have, just to walk in and just have this room, and in most cases in larger conventions, an enormous room just full of swag.
Yeah.
Just full of anime,
loot,
nerd stuff.
Merchandise, memorabilia, all kinds of fun things. That in
itself is just a fun experience.
Collectibles. Oh gosh, yeah. That's always just so neat.
And then you have an artist alley, which is individual people making their own art, oftentimes fan art.
Yeah. Sometimes crafts.
Sometimes
crafts. Sometimes they'll do ribbons and fluffy things and sewed things and all kinds of stuff. And then
sometimes original art, which I like to support if I can. And outside of that, they have panels. Like we mentioned before, they'll have guests come, so different voice actors will come, and they'll have different panels that the voice actors might host. So you might have a Q&A panel, or a panel where they come and play a game with the audience or with each other, and the audience watches.
They like to make it fun for the audience, fun for the guests.
It's a good time. They'll often have viewing rooms where you can watch anime. A lot of them will have just anime on 24/7, and you can just watch and watch and watch.
They'll usually you'll usually go all day, or they'll go to some unreasonable amount of time. Like when I went to one of the video rooms Saturday night, it was open until 2 in the morning or 4 in the morning or something like that. So you can get up and be watching some animes.
Which also the rave is usually there's a lot of raves or EDM.
Yeah, so there's a lot of dances. This is what they call. Is what they've been starting to call them now, because rave
to keep people from
Rave
dropping acid.
Rave puts a specific image in people's minds, and people have to come in with specific expectations.
No, we don't want
but
drugs.
A lot of these conventions we've been going to have been trying to crack down on some of that stuff while still making it fun for people.
Yeah.
Friday night, I went. I didn't go to the rave itself because each night, Friday night and Saturday night, they had 2 different DJs. I went to the one Saturday night, and he was all right. I didn't care that much. I didn't stick around. But Friday night, they had a guy working the escalator, the floor below below where the rave was, and he was basically he was turning people away if they had a purse or a bag or a backpack or anything like that. Like you could only just come as yourself. You couldn't bring stuff with you. And a lot of people were like, this doesn't make sense. And I'm just like, well, they're trying to keep people from bringing alcohol and drugs into the rave. So, I'm fine with that.
Definitely okay with that. So there's often a dance, there's often a concert, cosplay contests.
Yeah, the cosplay contest is usually pretty out of the park. Those things, I missed this current one, but the last few I went to, and they were excellent.
They have great cosplay contests at this one because obviously it's a large convention, so it brings out a lot of people. Yeah, they usually have very good judges. A lot of competitors
bring their A game.
Yeah, definitely true, and it's cool. It's so fun to watch. Man, it's good. But yeah, so my experience this year, I loved it as I always do.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful time. I enjoy being on the Riverwalk. It's such a cool place.
Gosh, yes.
I enjoy, like I said, walking around and seeing all of the crazy swag. I like seeing everybody who's into this nerd thing and just showing it off and doesn't care. I like that there's a place that a bunch of us nerds can get together and do that. That's really enjoyable to me, especially coming up from when I was into, in middle school, when I was started getting into anime and manga and all that. I was it basically in my school. Like I was the only person that really liked that stuff. Yeah. So I wasn't used to having any kind of support group.
Because I think it's getting better now, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely.
But
I agree.
Nerddom is still kind of a weird thing.
It is, yeah. Well, yeah, but I enjoy having a place to go where I can just feel. One, I can feel normal.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Two, I can feel more normal than anybody else.
Yes.
Because nerdy as weird as you are, there's probably someone else who's much worse than you.
Yeah.
If you're going to find that person, it'll be at a convention, I promise.
Yeah, if nothing else, you find somebody
makes them feel good, yeah.
Yeah, who's worse off than you are.
But no, it's a great time. It's good.
Good.
It's fun to talk with people. It's fun to find other people who have it. Like when you and I were walking around in the artist alley for a bit, it was pretty easy to talk with people about Voltron.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That was a talking point for a lot of people. Voltron season 3 and Death Note, the movie.
Yeah, the last couple topics. Yeah, because those were things that were on people's minds because those were new things. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not on the people's minds of the people that I work with.
Yep.
Or the people at church.
Yeah.
So when we get to go to conventions and talk with people who also care about these things and have their own opinions about it and aren't just listening to us babble about it to them.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a really fun experience, I think. But like I said, I really enjoyed the dealer's room. I really enjoyed the artist alley, as I normally do. I spent plenty of money in both places, as I normally do.
Yep.
I didn't go to any panels this year. I was kind of planning to, and there's a couple that I like going to, especially at San Japan, but I didn't see them this year. That's not necessarily a bad thing. They might have moved on to better panels. That's fine. I just didn't end up going into any because, honestly, I was just so infatuated with the dealer's room and with the artist alley, and it was so big. It gets bigger every year.
There was so much stuff to see and
see
and buy.
And I also went to the All Off concert. Absolutely fantastic.
That was great.
They played for so much longer than we thought.
Yeah, it was a little long, but it was like their last show.
It was, yeah. They announced that they were going to go on hiatus after this show, and they didn't give a specific amount of time. They're just going to take a break for a while. They've been a band for over 10 years.
Yeah.
And they played literally every song they have.
Yeah.
They played for 2 hours. They played 2 of their songs twice.
Yeah.
Like...
They played a cover.
They played a cover,
They played a lot of things.
More music than they have. They played so much music. I did not expect that at all. I was like, I'm going to come watch this show, and after that, I'm going to go take a swim, because there's a pool,
there's a pool in our hotel.
At our hotel, and I like to swim when I'm there. Nah, didn't even happen. I was so tired when I got out of that. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to bed. It was late, but it was a very good concert. It was great.
Excellent.
They also had an orchestra playing Final Fantasy music.
Yeah.
That I did not see.
I didn't attend it either.
I hear it was fantastic.
I hear
the people
it was
with
good.
us went. The people who went with us to the convention.
I hear it was life-changing.
Yeah.
I hear it was amazing. I imagine it would be. The orchestras that do those kinds of things are really good.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like some special guests that had worked on it or was part of orchestras that worked on Final Fantasy music.
Yeah.
The theme this year was supposed to be Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be like
true.
It was their 10th year, and so it said it's been X as if it was a Final Fantasy title.
As if Final Fantasy 10.
Next year it's going to be 11. It's going to have something to do with Magical Girls.
Magical Girls, yeah.
So
they always have a theme, which is cool.
Yeah, they'll invite guests relating to that and things like that. So we'll probably get like some of the cast of Sailor Moon next year or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
But I just spent money this con. It's really just all I did. I also went to see the cosplay contest, which was good.
Yep.
Very enjoyable. I just really liked buying stuff. I bought two cat pillows. Count them, 2, because I already had one, so I went with the intention of getting another one.
Yep. Did you name them yet?
Bought 2. So the black one.
The first one's Sammy.
My first one's Sammy from last year. That's Sammy. My black one is Clyde. I have not settled on a name for the white and gray one.
The white and gray one with
with the mouse.
The mouse.
So they've got like cutie marks on them.
Yeah, they have little like tramp stamps now.
So they come with usually they tend to come with things that cats like to eat. So like the back of my black one has a koi fish, a little goldfish, and then the gray and white one has a mouse.
I don't know. Kaylee's had fireworks.
So I guess it's things that cats like to eat and things that cats may be scared of. Those are the 2 things.
Yeah, I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's really cool though. No, I was thinking about getting one of those, but I decided not to. I did buy a bunch of other loot though. I've got 3. I had plenty of other loot to get my hands on.
Yeah.
So normally, I didn't go to any panels this year either. The panels are fine, by the way. That's another thing. Before I say anything else,
panels are great. This con was one of the cons that introduced me. Didn't introduce me to the concept of panels because I'd been to panels before, but it was one of the first cons where I was like, man, panels are worth something.
Yeah.
It was real fun. Like one of the first panels we went to, one of the first panels I ever went to at my first San Japan was they got Sifu Kisu to come to San Japan, and that is the man, master kung fu.
That was a good year.
The kung fu master that they got to. He's American. They got him to.
He was the martial arts consultant.
That's the word. He was the consultant for the Legend, for the Avatar,
and Legend of
the
Korra.
Last Airbender.
Yep. And Legend of Korra.
And Legend of Korra? Cool.
Yeah, because he talked about how he did the martial arts aspect for Amon and how he did it after figure skating because he was dodging a lot of benders and stuff like that. And so he had a lot of he did the bending in that.
And he just talked about how it was really inspiring. He talked about how amazing it was to be a part of that cartoon, that series. Yeah. And how it's basically like a dream of his that's come to life, and how he's he's a part of it. He didn't write it, he didn't draw it, but he was able to help bring it to life. Yeah. And he became attached to it through that, and he loves the characters and he loves the show as we. Yeah. It was really cool to watch.
And he was really excited to see the people that were such big fans of it. And he was enthralled by all of the cosplayers and the nerds.
And he brought up everybody who was cosplaying anything from Avatar, and he taught them how to do something in their specific style.
He did like demonstrations and stuff.
Yeah, that was so cool. He's such an awesome guy. Yeah. But that was really fun. We saw that. I went there twice. I don't remember if you
I think I went to the second one.
Yeah, I went to they basically did the same panel again, and I went and just watched it again because it was great. But then there's also San Japan's opening exercises are usually really fun. I didn't see that this year.
No.
And then they
were a little mixed up a little bit this year. I think the hurricane had a lot to do with it because the people that were running the con, I think the con still did an excellent job with everything. Like they made sure everything went off pretty much without a hitch. Mm-hmm. But you could tell that there was some chinks in the armor a little bit, in the sense that there were a few things that were coming off schedule or changing of schedule because of some of the people coming late, or some people not coming at all because of the hurricane and things. So
accurate.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. Because there were empty tables in the artist alley and in the dealer's room.
Yep, the artists and vendors that couldn't make it.
That either came from Houston or through Houston by some means. And so, that definitely happens. It was cool to see a lot of the people. There were a lot of artists and vendors doing charity stuff for the hurricane, for victims and things of that nature.
Yeah,
donating a certain amount of their revenue, whether from the con to the charity, to the people that needed it, and then the convention.
San Japan tends to host a lot of charity events and stuff. True. Normally they would host it for just random different charities and stuff, but this year they kind of at the last minute changed all their stuff to the relief effort. They had a blood drive like they always do. They had an auction for a charity auction.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
So those kinds of things.
Yeah, cool thing. A very excellent thing to do.
And that's one of the things I really like about conventions, and on a sense when you find. When you get this community of nerds together, just in general, a lot of the big ones, or a lot of the best ones, tend to have some kind of charity effort, because they have this moment where all these guys that are like, hey, we all think alike, and we all understand one another. And what if we could share some of this with some of this understanding with other people? What if we can do something as a group? kind of like what if we could find some way to harness this energy of this community, and people who tend towards charity stuff, and it's a lot of really really good outcomes with that, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Oh, but I was saying about the panels. I'm sorry.
Right up.
I was talking about how good the panels were, but I didn't get to attend any of the panels last year. I like kind of overscheduled myself. Like I had like so many things I wanted to see that I was like constantly like stressing out, and I was like barely eating and things like that. And I was just kind of bouncing around and stuff like that. This year I had like 2 goals, and that was I was going to buy things from the dealer's room, and I was going to play Magic the Gathering. And so I found
crushed both of those goals, David.
So I found out when their tournaments were, and that was it. Like once I figured out where the tournaments were, I was like, okay, during this time frame, I'm out. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to be playing Magic. And so whenever y'all went to the cosplay contest, whenever y'all went to some panels and things like that, I would just be like, well, it's going to be during my tournament, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be doing my other thing instead. Thankfully, the first tournament was rather short, comparatively, but even then, surprisingly short. But but
you came out on top. You beat all of them.
I beat
each one of them.
All of them. So it's funny because the first tournament, just for y'all who don't know. Was a constructed tournament where you come in with your own pre-built deck, and I brought my cat deck that I've talked about. It's real good, by the way. Now it's pretty solid.
Are you sure?
I really like it a lot. It turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
For those of you that don't know what Magic is, it is a trading card game that nerds play.
Yeah.
Continue.
But no, so I go into the tournament, and there's only 2 other people sign up for the tournament. So it's just 3 guys, me and these 2 other guys. And so the judge, or the guy who running the tournament, what he does is he rolls a die to see which one of us 3 is going to get the bye for the first round. Because we just do break it off into, like, as if we had 4 people. We just have each other duel, and then the winners duel each other. But instead, he rolled a die, and I got the die roll. And so I got a bye for the first round. And so the other 2 guys dueled one another, and I got to duel the winner. And I beat that guy, and so I won the tournament.
Yeah, that's how we do, baby.
Which was really fun.
I beat one person, and I'm the best.
Right. Exactly. Well,
that's my favorite.
I
love that.
I won really good. So like
you won pretty definitively.
Definitively, yeah.
Yes.
The win was pretty solid. Like when I was really proud of it. Like because
so what you're saying is there's no way the other guy could have beat you.
Well, so the cat deck.
We got
a lot of the function of it is to add lifelink, which is a mechanic in Magic.
Oh,
which
that's
is
right.
If the creatures
won with a crap
if the creatures deal damage, I get to gain life. And so the first game, I beat the guy with 98 life, and which is saying something because you start the game with 20 life. So I gained 78 life while I was killing. So I did all right. I did all right that game. The second tournament on Saturday was a sealed tournament. That's the one I attended, which is they also had like commander competitions, but I didn't have a commander deck. I bought a commander deck.
Now
I bought a commander deck at the convention. I plan on upgrading. I bought one of the new 2017 commander decks. For anybody that doesn't know, commander deck is a 100 card deck thing where every card in the deck is a single copy. You can't have multiple copies of cards, and you have one card that's your commander, or like the boss of your deck, basically. But anyway, Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast, or whatever, tends to put out pre-built, constructed commander decks, and they just put out a new set called for this year. They had 4 new decks: a vampire, a dragon, a wizard, and a cat deck. And my current standard deck is a cat deck, so I went ahead and bought the Commander cat deck as well. And it looks really fun. I haven't played it with it yet. I'll have to get a game set up at some point, but it looks like a lot of fun. But I didn't have enough. I bought it after the tournament had already happened, so I didn't have time to play in that tournament. But anyway, the sealed event, a lot of people joined up with that. I think there was like a dozen people for that. And in that game, the way it works is everybody gets 6 packs. And we got the current set of Magic, which is Hour of Devastation. I mentioned it on the pod a few episodes back. And I got pretty familiar with the set and like what kinds of things to look out for. And so yeah, you open the 6 packs, you build a deck with the cards you've gotten, and then you duel other people and you see who wins that way. I got to second place in that game, or in that tournament. The whole tournament, I got in second place. In one of my packs, I opened up Smooth the Tested, which is it's a mythic
Planeswalker.
Rarity Planeswalker, which is a very powerful, very rare card. And she is a red-green card, so that's the 2 colors it takes to use her. And so I ended up using other red and green cards, and the cards I had from the packs that were red and green were actually pretty solid, and I was able to do that. I ended up dabbling a little bit in black, which is what people call, so red, green, black is what people call Jund. That's what that color combination is called. And Jund is really popular in Magic as like a way to like, it's a deck style that tends to have a lot of answers. And so a lot of people, Loading Ready Run has a running joke they call, one of their guys, Alex, tends to play a lot of, I think it's Alex, maybe it's James, I don't know. One of them plays a lot of Jund, and so they have this phrase "Jund him out," which is how he wins in Magic. And so that it wasn't until I was looking through the deck today, when I was sorting through my cards and like unsleeving them and stuff like that I realized I was playing Jund. I was like, oh man, that's neat. That turned out very well. But
you've got questions that Jund has answered.
Yes, it does. And Samut, man, she was putting in work. Like every time I had her out, she was doing great stuff. Her ultimate is I can pick 2 creatures from my deck, 2 creatures or planeswalkers from my deck, and put them onto the battlefield, and basically I don't have to pay any cost for it, and then I shuffle my library basically. And so what I did was I ran a few like really beefy, really high cost monsters or creatures in my deck, and what I would do is she only costs 4 to get out, but then it takes a few turns to get to her ultimate. But the thing that gives her the plus loyalty counters to get to that point to where she builds up to her ultimate is she gives one of my creatures double strike, which means they get to deal damage instantly and then deal damage again in combat to somebody. And so that made fights just unbelievably easy. Like once I had her out, I'd just give double strike. And there was a time where I was just using her double strike. Like I just didn't even get the ultimate. Like I was just like, you know what? She's just going to keep winning me battles this way. And that worked out that way. But when I did get her ultimate off a couple times, I'd pull out these 2 really beefy, really powerful cards. One of them even had Menace, which means you have to block with 2 or more creatures to stop him. So
that's pretty cool.
I even had a card in there called Appeal to Authority, I say splash. I kind of splashed white, but I really didn't. But it was Authority is a white card, or it's a white spell, and so I had a few deserts that you could tap for white. But it does a thing where it's like it had a secondary ability that I can cast from the grave that says I can choose 2 creatures my opponent controls and they can't block this turn. I almost had to use that at one point, but I didn't. But because I had that Menace creature, and so he was put in the work on his own. But at one point there was they had 4 creatures on the board, and I was like, I'm just gonna make it so that these 2 can't block. So you have to block with these 2 if you want to block this fool, or you can just take 5. But no, it really worked out really well. So I thought I was really happy with it. Cool. And that was.
With all this talk and all this fantastic deck building you've got going on, obviously you won this tournament, yes, David?
I got second place.
Oh.
I did really well, but I got second place. I lost my final.
What a failure!
0-2.
No, that's good. You were the second best Magic player in all of San Japan, David.
In all of San Japan, yes. Well, it helped that most of the people that came to the tournament
had no clue what they were doing.
Didn't have any idea what they were doing.
Help.
I thought I was new to Magic, but some of these people, I was like, wow, you're new to Magic.
You research stuff. So
that's true, too. I read. The person that beat me, their specialty was limited format, which is specifically to draft and sealed. So this type of play was their forte, and so they knew what they were getting into.
It took an expert to beat you, is what you're
saying. Basically. Indeed it did.
Man, you're good at this game, David.
Yeah. They didn't even have a Planeswalker. They just beat me with, a really good functioning deck. So
sounds about right.
Yep. It was really fun because there was one guy that was sitting next to me that pulled Nico Bolas's Planeswalker card. And then Nico Bolas is probably the most expensive card in the set, and he's probably one of the, besides the Invocations, which are really, really rare and really expensive cards. Which by the way, we pulled 2 Invocations amongst a group of us.
This was draft?
This was sealed.
This was just sealed.
So we just opened packs. Okay, yeah, we didn't have to draft them or anything. That would have been neat. I wanted to do a draft, but they didn't have any draft tournaments going on. Because I'm not very skilled at draft. It's a hard way to play Magic. And it takes a lot of practice. So I've been wanting to get into it, but I just haven't had a lot of opportunities to do it. Most of the people I know that play Magic don't like draft. Yeah. They just like putting decks of cards together. They like to play Magic the way you and I like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right. Where it's just we just play unofficially and, do whatever we want. But actually, even the way we played Yu-Gi-Oh! Was more official than the way these people play Magic. In the sense that, they don't adhere to any ban lists or any rule set, necessarily. They just put decks together and play with them.
Right.
And I like playing standard and draft or sealed and stuff, limited stuff.
Gotcha.
So I like rules. I like the yeah.
Well, it's cool that Magic offers so many different ways to play the game.
Definitely.
That's a good thing. That's the thing that they have going for them that Yu-Gi-Oh does not and needs to fix. But
yeah. Yeah, but no, there was the Magic was what I did a lot in this convention, and I really enjoyed it. I was really, really happy to see my cat deck go off really well, and but there was a lot of other things I got to see and do. Like I said, we went to the All Out concert. I did buy a bunch of stuff. I bought the first season of My Hero Academia, which I got to see this weekend. It's real good. I'll have to do a discussion or something about it in a later episode. I'm working on the second season right now that's airing on Crunchyroll and Funimation as being simuldubbed. And so I'm probably going to finish that and catch up to it. And it should be wrapping up in a few more weeks. And then, yeah, I'll have that to talk about. I won't probably do any spoilers, or I'll do a spoiler-free version and then a spoiler version, but we'll see. We'll see. It's something to look forward to, guys.
A little sizzle for later.
I'm also just looking into other anime. So I'm in this phase now, which happens every time I get from a convention, where it's like, I'll go to a convention and I'll realize how little I know about anime, and I'll come home and be like, oh gosh, I gotta watch all of the anime.
Every bit.
All of it.
While we were there, Eddie was just like, I should watch more anime. Like, yeah, maybe you should.
But you know, this happens to me. This has happened to me since the beginning. Since the beginning of me going to conventions. It wasn't until. So I was looking at. I was telling you about my history with conventions because I keep track of it on a website called animecons.com. And so I always forget
what a nerd.
My first convention was Louisiana Anime in 2009. So 8 years ago. And at that convention, I realized, by talking to people there, that the only anime I had ever watched was Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and a little bit of DBZ. And so I didn't realize how little, I knew about anime.
I think some people don't realize how much more the anime there is.
Yeah.
All they have is, a little, cable TV, and they've just seen what's on Cartoon Network. There's a plethora of stuff.
I'm one of those people, and I know some cosplayers out there, y'all probably hate this, but I'm one of those people that'll come to somebody and be like, hey, I love your cosplay. It looks really nice. Who are you portraying? Who is this
you look
character?
Good now, but I don't know who you is.
And then generally, most of them will be really nice and be like, oh, I'm this thing from this thing. But sometimes you can kind of tell that you're like, oh, who's this guy? Get out of here. And I'm just like, look, I just want to be informed. I want to know. I want to watch the show. You look like a cool character. But no, it's very cool. And then there's lots of stuff from video games and stuff they don't play. There's a lot of fighting games with anime art style and stuff. So there's a lot of things like Blaz Blue and some things like that.
Truth.
Guilty Gear, I think. Is it Guilty Gear an anime fighting game? I don't
Probably.
know. There's a lot of them. I don't follow any of them. So yeah, when I see a lot of characters I don't recognize, sometimes I ignore it. But sometimes I'm like, hey, look, you're really cool. What are you from? But yeah, and there's wall scrolls and memorabilia and art and keychains for characters I've just never heard of before, never seen before. I'm just like, oh gosh, so many things. And meanwhile, there's just not many memorabilia for stuff that I tend to like. Like, it's hard to find anything Log Horizon. It's hard to find anything Devil's a Part-Timer. It's hard to find anything those kinds of animes. But not a lot of memorabilia, not a lot of
accurate. There's not a whole lot for
following.
Netflix anime.
Yeah.
So there's nothing for Kuromokuro. I haven't seen anything for Gargantua.
Nothing for Seven Deadly Sins that I saw.
Yeah, nothing. I saw a little bit of fan art in the artist house.
I saw the DVD for Seven Deadly Sins at Funimation's booth because they were the ones that did it. I think they're the ones that did the dub, at least here in America.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah. The Funimation booth was really cool. They had some really good deals on anime. Scott was giving me some guff for paying, $55 for My Hero Academia, and I was like, that was a good deal compared to the other booths that were at this convention. I haven't looked at it online, but I'm sure it's still around in the $50 range. It's still it's a pretty expensive anime. It's pretty new and great. But I was like, I had heard so much good stuff about this show. I was like, let me get on the train. And then when I purchased it and I came home and watched it, I did not at all regret it. Yeah. No, it was a excellent purchase, and I'm very happy with it.
I am
also, my work had gotten last few weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, we had gotten pop finals for all the major characters from the show. And I had no idea who any of them were. I didn't know anything about them and things like that. But the other day I walked by our pop vinyl table and I saw that and I was like, I kind of want all of them now. I kind of need all of them in my life.
Yep. Got it.
Like when I saw them, because like some pop vinyls. Okay, so first of all, I own a lot of pop vinyls, guys.
Yep, he does.
I own like over 50, maybe even over 60. I even bought some more at this convention. I bought a Lucio pop vinyl and a May pop vinyl because I didn't realize Overwatch had done a second series of pop vinyls. But for things like Overwatch, I'll tend to buy like just the characters I like. There's very few series or groups of pop vinyls that I bought because I wanted to get all of them. Like I got all of the Power Rangers mostly. I didn't get all the variations, but I've got each of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I've gotten most of the Dragon Ball Z pop vinyls. I've gotten all of the Firefly pop vinyls. But like My Hero Academia, like when I first saw them, I was like, oh man, if I watch the show, I might get like Deku or I might get All Might. But then I saw all the characters that were in it, and I was like, I kind of want all of them. I want them all. I want every character. They're so David. Good. They're all very likable.
Spend it however you please.
Yes, very, very true. And I probably will. But yeah.
I have 2 more cat pillows.
Yes. This is true. We both bought $60 mats from a really, really good artist.
Mats?
$50 mats, right. $50 mats.
Careful.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I got a super swag Yu Yu Hakusho play mat for like the mats we talk about are things that you use to play card games on Magic or
they're also big enough they could be used for like a keyboard and mouse on your computer or things like that, like cover your desk and make them really soft and nice. But I got a really, really nice one with Link on it. It's really, really fun. I have this neat collection of mats now from card gaming and stuff. It's gotten to the point now that like anytime I do some kind of card gaming thing or I'm getting ready to go to do some card gaming thing, I have this moment where I'm like looking at my shelf and I'm like, which mat do I bring? Which
mat's the lucky mat today?
Right?
If I don't bring the right mat, I'll lose.
Yeah. So, fun fact, I actually brought 2 mats to this convention. I used one of them for the Friday tournament and the other one for the Saturday tournament. It was great. I get comments on the Fullmetal Alchemist one, but I did not get comments on the Platinum Angel one that I got for a friend.
The original character kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the Platinum Angel is actually from Magic, apparently. The characters in it.
You're not going to get any comments on that.
You'd think somebody that from Magic would be like, oh, this is a neat Magic. Who made that?
There's so many things in Magic, though.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And a lot of people you played were fairly new to the game anyway.
Either fairly new or they'd been away for a long time.
You have to be a person that loves angels and plays them and knows that's a good card or an enjoyable card.
I don't even know if it's a good card.
It's probably not. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
But yeah, it was a great time.
I'd be like
the Artist Alley. So the Artist Alley, I ended up burning through some money real fast, like faster than I thought I was going to at the Artist Alley, because the dealer's room, a lot of things are really expensive, and so you're kind of like picking and choosing like what kinds of things you want and stuff like that. But the dealer's room, it's like I made so many small purchases.
Right. In the Artist Alley, everything's real small.
Yeah, the Artist Alley. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, it's like $10 for this print. Oh, it's only $15 for this print. Oh, it's only $2 for these pins, and it's just like we go through two rows of two rows of artists, and I'm already down $100.
That's only like $12, right?
And I'm like, how did this happen? I'm bleeding money. It was really good though. The prints I got were really good.
The thing I appreciate about the Artist Alley is that there's just the stuff you find there you won't find anywhere else.
Yes.
Because it's that person's style or that person the way. That person's idea. No one else has had that idea with this particular group of fan art. And also, a lot of times, if something, an anime or something, isn't big right now, there's nothing in the dealer's room about it. But other people might really, really like it, so they'll do fan art for it, and they find an audience through the Artist Alley. I found someone who did Zoid art, who had art from Zoids, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I did not expect that.
I love the practical application of art, and so I really like getting play mats that are artists. Like the play mats we just mentioned are from an artist in the Artist Alley. So they're fan art on these really nice play mats.
Yep.
And
Very quality playmats, yeah.
Yeah, and you're not going to get that from anywhere else. No one sells that in stores.
We bought some mouse pads from another
Yes,
person.
I have a mouse pad now with several different ghost Pokemon on it from one of the artists, which is just freaking cool.
Can you name the ghost Pokemon on that, Matt?
David.
I just asked because I'm curious.
I got this. I got this. So you've got a Gengar, okay?
Yeah.
You've got a Mischievous.
Yep.
You've got a Driftbloom, right?
Yep.
You've got a Skull Guy. You've got a Candle.
Skull Guy.
And you've got a Chandelier.
Okay.
Crushed it.
Basically, that's... What about this one? You know, these little, like...
Ghastlies.
Ghastlies, yeah.
Duh. I mean, I said Gengar. I figured you'd know that I knew what a Ghastly is.
I know,
like,
but you didn't...
The Skull Guy I've played with before. I just don't recall what it's called.
I don't remember his name.
You don't remember either, so get off my case.
He's not Dusknoir. That's this evolution.
No, is that not him? Dusknoir and Dusclops, right?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's right.
Anyway, Anyhoozles. Then there's this Candle one and the Chandelier, which are from the newer generations that I haven't played. But they're still ghost Pokemon.
Chandelier and Litwick.
Okay. Thanks, David. We got there.
Yep.
So, anyways.
But it's a very good mat. And I got one with all the supports from Overwatch.
Right. I love the practical application of art. And so, like, I have a pencil bag that's Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy that. That's the first pencil bag I ever bought. And that was at San Japan a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And this year I got another pencil bag that I fill with not pencils. It's right now full of all of the buttons that I also buy from time to time that I don't have a place for. Mm-hmm. I haven't put them anywhere yet. Anyhoozles. And it's a Liger Zero pencil bag, which is just the coolest thing ever. I love... Liger Zero is the main character, is Zoid from Zoids.
Yeah.
That person was also selling shirts. They had a shirt with the Liger Zero on it. So I bought a shirt. I have a shirt with the Liger Zero on it now.
Yeah.
Which is the coolest thing.
So
coolest
nobody will get the reference.
Said. It says Liger Zero on it. So you can be like, hey, that's a cool Liger Zero shirt. And I'll be like, yeah, it is. And you don't have to know about it at all. I can just enjoy your compliment.
Enjoy your compliment.
What else? I've recently gotten into stickers. I never really liked stickers before, but I recently learned that I can stick them to the inside of my sketchbooks because I buy nice sketchbooks now that are hardback.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I put them on the inside of my sketchbooks now. And so that's why I just went crazy and bought a whole lot of stickers at this con.
That's awesome. I don't have places for stickers, so I haven't thought about that before, but that sounds really neat.
Yeah, once I had a place or a need for it, then I started doing it. And then, like, I do the same with keychains and things like that. I enjoy prints, and I definitely bought some prints while I was here, which is the main fair and artist house, people selling prints. But charms and keychains and buttons have gotten really, really popular. And I buy those. What else did I do? I like bookmarks. People sell bookmarks.
We both bought some manga.
Up on
some manga.
I definitely bought some manga. Some manga that's harder for me to find. Mm-hmm. I found a little bit here, which I was happy to have.
I've been working on collecting all of Fullmetal Alchemist in manga form. I really enjoy that series a lot, and so I've been trying to get it on. I'm about halfway through. I think I have about 16 volumes of the 27 volumes, but I don't have them in order. Like, I don't have like 1 through 16. I have like 1 through 10, and then I don't have 11. Then I have 12 and 13, and then I have like 24 through 27, and just goofy numbers like that because I have to have a list somewhere of. I don't have a list anywhere of like which ones I'm missing, and so I'd always just grab manga that I knew I didn't have at the time, and so now I just have this like big spray of manga from different times, but I'm working on that. Yeah, and you bought some K-pop, and I bought some.
I did. I bought some BTS. I bought their Young Forever album. And I bought some Monsta X, their newest album.
X. They're
real good.
Yeah.
Happy to have that. Give some support to them.
It was really cool when you mentioned the practical application of art. My Fullmetal Alchemist mat I have has Edward Elric on it. It's not an artist thing, like an artist didn't make it. I bought it at the dealer's room, but it was one of those things that I really enjoy when I have something like that. Mm-hmm. I got a compliment for that mat at the tournament that I was at, where he asked me, like, well, where'd you get that mat? And I was like, I actually got it here at this convention a few years back. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know if the guy's still here. And I'm pretty sure he was there. I'm pretty sure that guy was there, but I didn't see that particular mat on his stuff.
Saw some other ones.
Yeah, he had some Steins Gate stuff, and I was looking at that. But that's a series I haven't seen, so I want to get to at some point, but I hear it's excellent. If I really enjoy it, I may go back and buy that mat because I really like anime mats.
Did you end up purchasing that anime as well?
I didn't, actually. I was thinking about it. Instead, I used that money towards the Link mat instead. I bought the Link mat instead of that. But yeah, so it was really good. Yeah, no, I was super happy with it. I bought his last one. He sold out on that one. It was very cool. I got some glow-in-the-dark enamel pins. Or, I got one glow-in-the-dark enamel pin.
Yeah.
The enamel pins are really neat. Like, people are coming out with some really, really cool stuff. Cool, yeah. I really want to figure out how that stuff's made, because those things look fantastic. They're way more, like, specific and, like professionally made than the pins we're used to making for our artist alley. The little buttons. But no, I got one that says I need healing on it. And it glows in the dark, and I really like that. I need to find a place for it. I gotta find a place to stick it somewhere. So that's really neat. Yeah.
So I just want to reiterate how much I like the conventions, just because it gives me an opportunity to be around like-minded people and have a good time. We had a good time buying stuff and all that, but I also was able to spend time with, your twin brothers, Scott and Kaylee, who we don't get to see often.
Yeah.
Like they live like 3 hours from us.
They live a little ways out.
And then Eddie, who we don't see a whole lot either.
Yep.
So that was a good time. Just like being able to hang out, play games. We played Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
We watched anime. We slept in, more or less.
Yeah. No, that was good.
7:30 or 8.
Yeah, well.
Scott and I were both up really early because we're both kind of used to that. He's just getting off a mission, and I get up for work every day. So both of us just spring up.
I do too. I get up earlier for work, but I was really happy to sleep in for this convention, especially since I was staying up much later than I normally do at these conventions. That was interesting. But no, yeah, like it's definitely true. The convention trips are definitely better with the right people. In the past, I've gone with different friends. I haven't necessarily had a bad experience with a convention. Like I've actually been to. When I went to PAX, I went with Eddie, and he had a friend of his that I had never met before, and so I was worried that was going to be kind of a conflict or whatever. But he was a really neat guy. He was a fun guy, and he and I had a lot in common and stuff. So that was really fun because, I mean, we were gonna have something in common because of our invested interest in the thing we're there for. Yeah. So it was very cool. And yeah, I love I went to the video room briefly, and I saw some of No Game No Life. And that was a really interesting experience because that's an anime I've kind of written off. Like I was like, I don't really want to watch that show, mainly because the fan service is a little much for me. But I was really, really intrigued with it. And I understand
with the fan service.
No, with the writing of the show, with the actual plot, not the boob plot.
Gotcha.
The actual plot of the show. And so I might check that out. We'll see. While I'm in my my anime rush that I'm having right now. So yeah.
I've been thinking about it, and like I think because we often talk about how good some of the cons we go to, the small ones, are for what they are, for being such small cons. They're still very good. And this is a large con, and I honestly think, I've thought about it, and I think this would be a fantastic con for someone's first convention. I personally feel.
I think so too. I think it might spoil them a little.
And I think that's fine, though. I'm okay with setting a bar.
Yeah.
San Japan definitely is the bar, in my opinion, for a good con.
Definitely.
I think other cons hit that bar. I think A-Con's a very good convention.
Yeah, A-Con does a very good job.
I enjoyed San Diego Comic-Con when I went, although that's a very somewhat different experience.
Yeah, I enjoyed the New Orleans Comic-Con when I went to the Wizard World's Comic-Con.
And so, I think the reason I'd say this con is good and would be good for a first-timer is it does set that bar, and the reason it sets that bar is it's well organized.
Yes.
Despite having so many people, I don't feel like it's difficult to get around.
No, yeah.
Every
year they improve a little more too. Everything gets a little more streamlined, a little easier.
The panels are good. When it's smaller cons, sometimes, and with less organization, it's easy to find to get a bunch of crap panels, or get panels together that are just kind of thrown together. Be like, oh, we need something to fill this space, so we'll just
panels that are canceled and
different things of that nature,
stuff like that.
But this con runs it really well. They are very organized. They get good guests. They have fun, engaging panels.
Yep.
They always have quality music guests.
Yeah.
Stuff goes on time.
Yeah,
Stuff plays on time.
The last couple years were really good.
Good dances.
Ahead of time.
And like I said, quality location. Like this, as far as picking a location, they crushed it.
Yeah, this is a perfect place for a convention.
Yes,
and it's a perfect time frame too, because it's towards the end of the con season, I guess. Like it's like that, so it's beginning of like fall when people are starting school up again. So it's like not the time when people normally go to conventions.
Beginning of the fall semester. It's not the beginning of fall. It is hot.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, that's
summer.
true. It's the beginning of fall semester, as I meant. School starting, I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
And, those kinds of things.
It is...
but it's on a decent weekend for that.
Yeah, and definitely true. The Labor Day weekend definitely helps. Gives you an extra day to recover or to travel if you want to stay through all of Sunday. It's just... It's a lot of fun. It is... And it's a very quality example of what a convention should be. And for that reason, I feel like it would be a very good first con for someone. Also, as with any con, I think it's always good to make sure you go with people that you like hanging around with. Yeah. And that also like being at the con. Yeah. Because, some people, might have to take your parents or whatever if you're younger. That's fine. Or have someone else go with you or a significant other or things like that. If they don't enjoy it, if they're not going to enjoy it, and sometimes that's harder to be around them. True. But, yeah, even if your parents are just going to drop you off, have a friend with you, have something like that. That's always a very enjoyable experience. Yeah. Good to have someone with you, especially because due to the size, it can
be overwhelming.
It can be, yeah. Yeah. But having a friend there is helpful. It's just, and like we were talking about location, the fact that it's in a convention center is very good. A lot of smaller cons can't really afford that, and so they end up using either community centers or they're using like hotels themselves with their little meeting rooms and things like that, and that's fine for a small con. But I think the goal of all cons really is and should be to get to a convention center, because that is the best place to be when you have enough people to fill that, when you have enough when you can guarantee your convention and your con goers a specific location where it'll just be that con and you can really get immersed in that, and you're not in some hotel lobby with like sharing it with a bunch of like a softball team that's in from out of town in a travel league or some nonsense like that, and a bunch of people staring at you weird. It's just, I really, really enjoy this con for everything about it: location, size, organization.
The weather was really nice too.
The weather was great. Yeah.
Especially after...
That being said, it was a week after Harvey.
Yeah, it was a week after Harvey. So
anything would have been better than Harvey.
Yeah, so. Well, I mean, there was no rain. It was sunny and bright the whole time. It was great. And it wasn't too hot, skies. Even though I was complaining about it being hot. It wasn't that bad.
It was fairly hot.
It was fairly hot, but it wasn't unbearable is the thing. For Texas, you know what I mean? But yeah, I really enjoy... One of the things I also enjoy about the conventions, and especially this one, is that seeing the cosplayers wandering around the convention itself. Because especially with bigger conventions, you get a lot of people there and a lot of people with like ranging quality and stuff like that. And not everybody that is a really good cosplayer competes at the cosplay contest. A lot of them just want to do a really, really good cosplay and wander. And it's really neat to run into people like that just have these really amazing costumes. That is cool. Like, man, you're great. Holy crap.
Is something really cool about seeing like some of your favorite characters just walking around amongst you. Yeah. Whenever people do a really good cosplay. So that's a really cool experience too. We can't speak too much to cosplay.
No, I mean, we haven't done a lot, but...
No, I've done a little bit, and I don't... For a con that I'm just going to go to have fun at, I'd much rather not do cosplay.
Yeah, no, I feel exhausting. That. It's exhausting. And a lot of that takes a lot out of you, for sure.
The first couple of years we went to San Japan, I did my Captain Jack, which is fun, but it takes a lot out of me. Yeah. All the pictures, David. I'm just so popular. Yeah.
You're so good looking.
Taking pictures of me all the time.
How do you do it? And then one year we went as Bolin and Mako from Legend of Korra.
That's true.
Which was
that
neat.
Was hot.
That was very hot.
We went to a meetup, like an Avatar meetup, and my gosh, they could not have picked a hotter spot. Slightly elevated, clear sky, like 2:00, so the sun was just like right on top of us, and you and I are wearing like these like felt costumes, and
yep,
gosh, yeah, it was.
It was very warm.
Woo, it was warm. My gosh, yeah, but that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Cosplay can be a lot of fun.
And it was very neat.
especially if you enjoy just that whole scene, people complimenting you on your good work, getting photos taken, meeting up with other people that are cosplaying from the same group and taking photos with them. That's a lot of fun. It definitely can be a lot of fun. I just tend to get exhausted, so I avoid it sometimes.
I feel that.
But it's good. The cosplay scene is very, very good. We'll have to have some more avid cosplayers on the show at some point.
We know a few. We know a few avid cosplayers we can get our hands on. Have them as guests.
But yeah, it is a good time. I like conventions for what they are, for the opportunity they are for people to get together with similar interests and likes and like-minded thoughts, to be able to show off what they love and enjoy it and be around it. I also am starting to enjoy it for the fact that since we're adults, we've been adults for a little while. I enjoy the fact that young kids, teenagers get to go to a place where they can see that adults like this stuff. Yes. And that they can like it without being annoying.
That was something that... well, sometimes.
Sometimes. Well, I mean, they can see adults that are liking it.
Oh, I see. And not be crazy. Yeah.
They can see, I see that. A good example of just people who like their thing and that it's not weird or that they're not crazy or that they're not stupid for liking these things.
Looking back, that was kind of a big help when I was in high school. When I was going to conventions in high school, I was like, I'm just some, nerdy kid, but seeing adults going to conventions as well was a very neat thing that I didn't think about. The anime, and that's the thing that's interesting. That again, we talked about it before. That it's tough here in the West that anime isn't just for kids. It's for everybody. Mm-hmm. There's anime for everybody, and so it's very neat to see people of all ages getting into that. Yeah. I love seeing the families. I know a lot of people don't like families, but I like seeing when family units come together at a convention, like a mom and dad and kids and stuff. We
saw a family of Jedi once at a convention. Mm-hmm. Dad and his string of children who were all Jedis except for one who was
dressed as Hawk Girl.
That was freaking awesome.
And it took them hours to make those wings.
Costume
it came out
was
great.
Ballin'.
It came out amazing.
Super good.
No
family goals.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, super, super cool. But yeah, conventions are great. We love San Japan. We're glad to be a part of it and to go and to enjoy it.
If you listeners aren't anywhere near San Antonio, which is not wrong, there's a website called I just mentioned earlier in the podcast called animecons.com. If you can check it out, they have a list of all the upcoming conventions all over the U.S. and sometimes parts of Canada and other countries. And even though the website's called animecons.com, it lists every kind of convention. Every convention I've ever been to has been on the list of cons that they put on their website.
Every kind of nerdy convention.
Any kind of nerdy convention, yeah. So sci-fi conventions and gaming conventions and things like that, they're all on there. So if you go on there and you search near your house or near where you live, you'll probably find some really neat conventions coming up near you or coming up sometime next year, and plan out in advance and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do a con survival episode at one point to talk about what to expect from a first con,
what to bring,
those kinds of things.
But and listeners, please feel free to let us know what cons you like, what you've gone to. What
do you like most about a con?
Stories. What do you like most about a con? Give us your stories. Tell us what cons we should go to and try out.
Yeah.
Share your stories with us. We are at TNYKPod on Twitter and Facebook. We have a Gmail that is thosenerdsyouknowpod at gmail.com. We are also on YouTube, Those Nerds You Know. We're on Podbean and iTunes. Search Those Nerds You Know and you'll find us. And I think that's the show, guys. I think we did it. We definitely got there. Yep. Thanks again, guys. Thank you, as always, for listening. And my name is Ethan.
And I'm David.
And we are Those Nerds You Know.
Bye!